Thank you, Madam Speaker, and through you to the members. I want to start by recognizing some of the comments the gentleman from Whitman addressed earlier. I definitely empathize with his struggle about having his name spelled correctly. I understand what his 10-letter name, like me, as Carlos Antonio Henriquez. I've been through that many times myself. The gentleman also spoke to issuing 650,000 people identifications at the cost of about $1 million. And I would offer that statement as proof that we don't know the real cost, because that only speaks to the cost of creating the identifications, not distributing them to the 650,000 voters that would then need them, and figuring out how that process looks and works. It's strange to me that some of the same people who in this very chamber feel disenfranchised at times or inoculated would then turn around and put forth a process that would do the same thing to the residents of this Commonwealth. When we walk into this building every day, me as a freshman, and I've been here about 1.5 years, they used to ask me for identification when I walked in. As I became familiar, I no longer am asked for identification. Is that a breach in our security? I'm sure that none of us walk in the building and expect to pull out our ID every time, and I'm sure if we did, we would probably think of it as a light hassle now that we've been used to not having to do that. I'm also amazed that we as civic leaders, those of us that specialize in getting out the vote, would then take action that might slow down that very process. So let me talk a little bit about the cost. Let me tell you about Ms. Johnson. Ms. Johnson was born in 1936. She will turn 76 years old on November 6th this year. Her hair is completely silver. She lives on a fixed income, and she has been voting every single year since she turned 18 in 1954. She smokes Pall Mall cigarettes, still drinks beer from time to time, and she spent her entire life in the same ward and precinct. All of her neighbors know her, all of her church members know her. She's even been a poll worker at that very poll. She stopped driving about 6 years ago because of her health, her failing vision, and the cost to insure and register her car. Her son handles her finances. The 22-year-old clerk at the corner store does not card her when she wants to buy liquor or cigarettes, because he has known her his entire life. This year on her birthday, she expects to vote for the President of the United States. Many of you will be happy to know that she's unenrolled, so she might vote for your guy, she might vote for mine. But what concerns me the most is the cost. And I don't just mean the cost of dollars and cents. I'm talking about the effects on someone like Ms. Johnson, the possible disenfranchisement of the same people that every single one of us in this chamber go to first to ask for their support, to ask for their vote. Our seniors, our super voters, those that we count on in our neighborhood, our parents, our grandparents. What's amazing to me is that each one of you, regardless of what neighborhood and town you represent, you know Ms. Johnson because she lives in your ward and in your precinct and in your district. She even voted for you in 2010 so that you could represent her here today. So I ask you, are you okay with explaining to Ms. Johnson on Election Day, when you stand outside the polls, why the poll worker who she trained many years ago is telling her that she cannot vote for President of the United States in 2012? You may be okay with that. I'll be clear that I am not okay with explaining that to Ms. Johnson. Therefore, I am against the underlying amendment and ask you to support the further amendment. Thank you.